It's the circle of fifths, and we'll learn our keys, even the minor ones. Hi, everyone. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Today, we're going to talk about the circle of fifths. The circle of fifths is a really useful tool for visualizing our major and minor keys and how they relate to one another. To start, we'll draw a circle. Around this circle, we'll put 12 spots, kind of like a clock. Here I've used these squared off rectangles. Going clockwise, at the top, we'll put 0 sharps or flats. This represents keys that have no sharps or flats. Going clockwise, we'll add sharps. 1 sharp, 2 sharps, 3 sharps, 4 sharps, 5 sharps, 6 sharps, and then 7 sharps. Now remember, we can only ever go up to 7 sharps or 7 flats because that's the number of notes we have in the scale before we repeat them. Once you get to 7, you've sharped all the notes you can sharp. Now going counterclockwise, we'll write all the possible flat key signatures. Now it's possible to have no flats, so we'll put that at the top. Followed by 1 flat, 2 flats, 3 flats, 4 flats, 5 flats, and 6 flats. You'll notice these 3 at the bottom look a little weird. We'll talk about that more in a minute. The next step is to write our major key signatures around the outside. With no sharps or flats, we have C major. The key with 1 sharp, G major. Now you'll notice G is the 5th note of the C major scale, or it's a 5th above C. That's why they call it the circle of fifths. The key with 2 sharps, D, again, which is the 5th scale degree in the key of G. A, key with 3 sharps. 4 sharps, the key of E. 5 sharps, the key of B. Again, I've written a C flat here. We'll come back to this later. 6 sharps, the key of F sharp. And finally, 7 sharps, or the key of C sharp major. Back to the top of the circle, we'll do our flat keys, this time going counterclockwise. The major key with 1 flat, F. Major key with 2 flats, B flat. The major key with 3 flats, E flat. The major key with 4 flats, A flat. Now I've already written D flat, G flat, and C flat down below. We've talked about this before, but notes that are spelled differently but sound the same are said to be inharmonically equivalent. Keys can also be inharmonically equivalent. The key of C sharp and D flat is the same sounding pitches, it's just spelled differently. Same with F sharp and G flat, and B and C flat. On the inside of the circle, we'll write our minor keys that correspond with the given number of sharps or flats in the rectangles. A minor is the minor key with no sharps or flats. A 5th above A is E. E minor has 1 sharp. A 5th above that, we have B minor, followed by F sharp minor, C sharp minor, G sharp minor, and D sharp minor. I left off A sharp minor, but it's coming. Back to the top, let's do our minor keys with flat key signatures. With 1 flat, we have D minor, 2 flats, G minor, 3 flats, C minor, 4 flats, F minor, and here it is, 5 flats, B flat minor. Again, just like our major keys, these 3 at the bottom, while spelled differently, sound the same. They are said to be inharmonically equivalent. Another useful piece of information we can get from the circle of fifths is the order in which flats and sharps appear in key signatures. Starting at the bottom right, we get our order of flats: B, E, A, D, G, C, and F. These are the order in which flats appear in a key signature. What I mean by this is a key signature with 1 flat, F major, or D minor. The first of those flats will be B flat. We can also see our order of sharps. If we go over here to the top left, we see F, C, G, D, A, E, and B. This is the order in which sharps appear in key signatures. So for example, G major has one sharp in it, and that sharp is F sharp. We talked about this in class, but another cool thing about the circle of fifths is it helps us visualize the relationships between our major and minor keys. There are two main relationships we'll concern ourselves with, the first of which is parallel. Keys that are parallel start on the same note but have different key signatures. So for example, C major and C minor are parallel because they start on the same note, but they use different pitches. C major, no sharps or flats, and C minor has 3 flats. The circle of fifths also shows us our relative keys. Remember, keys that are relative have the same key signature, but start on different notes. Think about this like you think about your relatives. You're related to your family because you have the same genetic material, but you're not the same. Relative keys have the same key signature, but start on different notes. On the circle of fifths, these are the keys that appear across from one another. So for example, C major and A minor are relative. A major and F sharp minor are also relative. They share the common key signature of 3 sharps. I hope that was helpful. As you're learning all of your keys, especially, I imagine, the minor keys, I think it's useful to get to a place where you can draw the circle of fifths from memory. Thanks, and I'll see you guys next time.